Hello there. In this video I'm going to show you how you can make this personalised heart earring. I'm going to personalise it with a Harrington font letter A, and I'm going to use this number 1 symbol here, which is part of our Wingdings 2 group of patterns. And we're going to do this in Fluid Designer for 3D printing. Now if I just click group folder, group library first of all, that just refreshes this file list here, or folder list I should say. I'm going to use this wire connector with a 1.5mm diameter hole for the fish hook to go through. I'm going to use a Harrington font from Alphabet Harrington Fonts library, so it's letter A I'm going to use there. I'm also going to use Patterns Wingdings 2. These are the keyboard presses that you can do in Microsoft Windows, some special symbols. And as you can see, there's quite a number of different patterns in there. I'm going to use this one here, so it's Wingdings U character, and I'm also going to put all of those inside a heart pattern. And as you can see, there's a number of different heart patterns you can choose from. I'm going to use 015, this object here, so if I just drag and drop that onto the workspace. This is a parametric smart object. Now if I just click here, that'll switch on any key presses I make, should be displayed down here. This is currently 1mm by 2mm. It's a parametric smart object. You can change the cross section of this very easily over here. We're going to make an earring, so I want to reduce it down to 1mm by 1mm. That will keep my weight down. Now what I'm going to do is click on Group Library again there. That gives me 3D templates connectors. I'm going to add this wire connector with a 1.5mm diameter hole to my workspace. And we do that by going to File and Append. Just go up through the menu system until you get to the Groups folder. We want 3D Templates Connectors folder. That's where the 1.5mm wire connector is. And we always append the object. So it's a wire connector with a 1.5mm internal diameter hole. And we append that from the library. And then click on that object. Now I'll just position it up there because I may well have to move this arrowhead here. Now I'm going to add the Harrington font. So it's letter A here in the Harrington font folder. And again, I go to File and Append. Just go up through the menu system until you get to the Groups folder. Look for the folder Patterns Alphabet Harrington Fonts. And I'm going to use letter A, and I always want the object, so it's Harrington font A, and I just append that from the library. And I can just move that over there. Now, to try and keep the weight down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this down. Now in Fluid Designer we press S on the keyboard for scale, and I'm just going to move it in 2 steps there. So at the top of the screen it tells me the scale factor is 0.8. What's really important is after you click the mouse you must do Control A and you must apply the scale. And notice as I do that the thickness will change. It will set it back to the value over here. Now this is 1mm by 2. Our heart is 1 by 1, but that's not a problem. We'll adjust that in a second. So you need to decide where you're going to put this, and I think in my original one I put it down here somewhere. Okay, and I now want to add in my final object, and it's in Pattern Wingdings 2 as I showed you before, and it's going to be this object here. This number 1, which is inside a circle, so it's Wingdings U is what I'm looking for in Wingdings 2. So I go to File and Append. Again, just go up through the menu system until you get to the Groups folder. We're looking for Patterns Wingdings 2, and I'm using this one here, Wingdings, and it's letter U, lowercase letter U, and I want to append that object from the library. So it gives me this number 1 symbol here. Now again, that's a little bit too big, so like the letter A, if I press S on the keyboard, if I scale it down a couple of times, and always remember to do Control A and apply the scale. And now what I can do is I can switch off snap, and I can position this. It needs to be overlapping here and here. Now my inner number 1 is overlapping at the top, and it's probably only just overlapping at the bottom there. So if you want to be more cautious with this object, if you press the tab key, and if you just highlight those 2 control points there and just pull them across into the circle, if you're not happy with the object as it originally was, you can do that. That overlap will make sure the 1 doesn't drop out. It looks alright at the top. Again, if you're not happy with it at the top, you can just pull it up a little bit more and make absolutely certain that that number 1 is inside there. Now what we've got to do is to join these objects together. So if I select the letter A and the 1 and go to Tools, Object, Tools and Join, those 2 will become one object. Now when I select the heart shape, now notice the heart shape's got a different cross section. As long as I select the heart shape last, if I go to Tools, Object, Tools and join them together, notice that the A and the wingdings number 1 symbol take on the same cross section as the heart. That will help to reduce the weight. And the same goes for this connector at the top. If I just zoom in here until I get the small grid, if I just pull that down, I can just check over here in wireframe the positioning of it. Once you're happy with the positioning of it, I'm going to move it away from there actually. So I'm just going to move it to the left a little bit. And again, just double check with wireframe where it is. I'm not worried about this overlap over here. I'm going to leave that. I just like that little gap. So now hold down the Shift key, select the heart last, Tools, Object, Tools and Join, and that ring there, that connector will take on the same cross section as the heart, which as we can see over here is 1 by 1. And that's essentially all you need to do, almost all you need to do, to create this earring. What I would do now though is export it. I tend to use Wavefront OBJ format and save it to the desktop. It's a personalised number 1 heart earring, so you export that OBJ file, and then what you must always do is to go to Netfab Basic and open it up there and click on Repair and do Automatic Repair and execute it and apply the repair and remove the old part. That will repair it. And what we can see in Netfab is the volume of this object. It's 0.23 centimeters cubed. If you move the decimal point 1 place to the right, it becomes 2.3. That roughly equates to 2.3 grams if you print this object in silver. So that gives you an idea of the weight of this object. So if you want to create your own, you can purchase the patterns from our website at fluiddesigner.co.uk. If you want us to personalise one for you, just contact us through Shapeways and we will do so and upload it to Shapeways for you. Thank you.